If you're a woman over 40 who is sick of all the complicated wellness advice or 10-step daily routines that somebody posts on Instagram, today we're talking about something that is free and doable, even when you're juggling work, kids, a spouse, pets, and the annoying hormone changes that come with perimenopause. The most important thing, though, is it's something that you're going to enjoy. We're talking about walking. Now, before you skip this episode and roll your eyes at the idea of something that is so damn simple, most Americans with desk jobs especially are only averaging about 4,800 steps per day, which is not ideal. And if you don't know how many steps you're currently taking, you're going to want to keep listening. One of the most powerful tools that we give to our midlife clients is not some fancy gadget, functional test, or even a supplement. It's telling them to walk more. It's backed by real research. You're going to hear some stats in a bit. And best of all, you can do it with your partner, your friends, your kids, your dog, and outside in fresh air, no membership required. So let's dig into some of the research and why it matters for women over 40 especially. So one major meta-analysis found that adults who took about 7,000 steps per day had 47% lower risk of death from any cause compared to those who only did about 2,000 steps per day. That same study showed a 25% lower risk of cardiovascular disease, 38% lower risk of dementia, and 14% lower risk of type 2 diabetes, again, compared with low step groups. I'm also going to link a study showing that walking lowers overall cancer risk by up to 26%. So what does that mean? If you're in your 40s and you're dealing with hormone changes and metabolic shifts, which you are, moving more isn't just optional, it is vital. Being sedentary increases risk of chronic diseases, and that's not to scare you. It's to empower you because walking is something that you can control. For women over 40, this becomes extra important because the hormonal shifts that we're experiencing can impact our cardiovascular risk. Stress tends to accumulate, as you know. Recovery takes longer, and walking is low impact, doable, and has multiple benefits. So here's why walking outside in natural light really matters. So walking outdoors does more than just burn calories. When you walk outside in natural light, morning, afternoon, and evening, preferably, you're aligning your body's circadian rhythm, which is often thrown off in perimenopause. And you want to do this without sunglasses, especially because you're going to receive those natural light cues. That supports your nervous system, your mood, your alertness even. And this is going to help with stress regulation, which in turn supports your hormones, your sleep, and your overall recovery. Walking is good for your cardiovascular health. So it's going to protect your heart and vessels. It's good for metabolic health. So you're going to have better calorie burn and better glucose regulation, as well as your nervous system. It kind of acts like a stress buffer. It helps to boost your mood and can even help with brain clarity. Now, on the tracking side, I'm a fan of some data, as you know. Go back to last week's episode where I covered the things that I personally track when it comes to my health. So you could use a fancy ring like the Aura ring, but you could really just use something more simple like a Fitbit or even a basic pedometer to track your steps. The point is you want accountability and you want to be hitting your daily target. Now, the reason I like tracking this, even if it's just for a short period of time, is because many people don't realize how little they're moving. You know, we've had clients say, oh my gosh, I'm not even walking up to 3,000 steps most days. So it gives them a starting point, and then you work your way up to 4,000, 5,000, and more, right? That is really the goal. We're not chasing perfection here. We're just chasing consistency. So how do you fit walking into your oh so busy life? Maybe you have a desk job, you're dealing with Zoom calls, meetings, maybe you're even commuting to your office back and forth, and you may be really tired. So here's my recommendation. Start small with 10 minutes 3 times per day. That's 30 minutes total. So you can do this after your morning coffee or breakfast. You can do it after lunch or in the mid-afternoon. Step away from your screen a bit. And you can even do it at night after dinner, which is what we do. It's really helpful to have a dog. We walk him 3 times per day, although in the summer he's not wanting to go out in the afternoons, but I still go out for my afternoon walk. Now, if you walk at a medium pace, that's typically between 3,000 to 4,000 steps. It's not the optimal amount, but at least it's going to get you closer to that goal. And then once you start doing these 10-minute walks, you can start to bump them up, right? 15 minutes, 20 minutes per session. Eventually aim for 20 to 30 minutes each time. And you're going to notice how much you're enjoying those walks. And not just for moving your body, but for getting outside, taking a break from indoor air, taking a break from these screens, right? It's going to be really good for your overall mood, your energy, and you'll even most likely notice that your sleep starts to improve. Now, you can listen to a podcast, hopefully mine. You can listen to some music, or no input at all. You could just listen to the sounds of nature around you. Yes, I promise you, we can do one task at a time versus constantly multitask. All right, so the goal ultimately is to aim for 7,000 steps per day or more, especially depending on your goals. But even moving from 3,000 to 5,000 makes a huge difference. The other thing is you can make it relational. You can walk with your husband while your kids are playing in the backyard. You can walk your dog. If you're at your kids' baseball practice, you can walk around the field instead of just sitting to chat with other moms. You can do a weekly walk with one of your friends or daily walk with your friends. Hold each other accountable, right? It becomes connection time, stress relief, and obviously you're just getting some of that really good movement in. The other smart choices are to take the stairs versus the elevator if you have a choice. When you run errands, maybe you park a little further from the stores to get those extra steps in. Maybe you go to the grocery store instead of just ordering your groceries online. And I know that's to save time, but really think about how are some ways that you can start to build this into your life. And don't think of it as exercising or an extra workout. Just think of it as you living better and doing something that really benefits your body. So let's recap these specific benefits for you as a woman with changing hormones. Cardiovascular health. So with perimenopause, your estrogen starts to decline. First, it's a roller coaster, and then eventually it declines. And your cardiovascular risk begins to shift. So walking helps maintain your blood vessel health, improves blood flow, lowers resting heart rate, and supports healthy blood pressure. Then there's your metabolism. While strength training is really key for muscle mass maintenance, walking supports this to a different degree. It also helps with glucose handling and calorie burn, and in a low impact way, as I said earlier. Now, if you do lift weights 2 to 4 times per week, which I hope you do, walking is going to complement your strength work. You don't have to do these high intensity interval types of cardio unless you want to and you really enjoy it. But if you're not doing really any movement, then really start to incorporate walking at the very least. It is considered cardio, it's just more low impact. Now, walking is also going to support your nervous system and stress recovery. So walking outside, moving your body, getting fresh air, this all helps to lower your cortisol or keep it in check. It's going to help your brain recover. It's going to help with mental clarity. Hello, brain fog and perimenopause. There is so much out there, especially online, about lowering your cortisol. We need cortisol, okay? But you don't need supplements to lower it. You need better habits, all right? And then there's your circadian rhythm and sleep. Exposure to natural light during these outdoor walks is going to help regulate your sleep-wake cycle. So better sleep equals better hormone balance, better recovery, and better mood overall. And like I said, the best part is this is free. So here's what I want you to do this week. Pick 3 10-minute windows of time to get these walks in. Start tracking your steps. Like I said, you can use a fancy Oura ring, or you can use something really simple like a pedometer or even your phone if it tracks your steps. At the end of each day or week, look at how many steps you actually took. Where can you make some improvements? How can you be more consistent? And also reflect on how you feel. Do you notice you're more alert? Do you feel less stressed? Do you have a better mood? Is your digestion even improving? Maybe you're less bloated and maybe you're sleeping deeper. You're going to start to notice the ripple effect. Walking really is one of the smartest free investments that you can make for yourself. Make it simple, sustainable, and effective, okay? And if you need help getting personalized coaching and support to implement perimenopause-specific diet and lifestyle changes, as well as assess labs to get a plan that is tailored to your individual needs, not for somebody else, apply to work with us in the Perimenopause Method. We are open for August enrollment and accepting new clients. So check out the link in the show notes. And that's it for today. Remember, movement is medicine, my friend, but it doesn't have to be so freaking complicated. Start today, walk for 10 minutes, then do it again and again and again. Build a habit and watch how your body and symptoms respond. Please do share this with a friend, and I will see you next time. Hey, before you go, if you're resonating with this podcast and realize that your symptoms are anything but normal, my comprehensive program, the Perimenopause Method, may be a great fit for you. My team and I help women in their mid-30s to early 50s improve symptoms such as fatigue, disrupted sleep, anxiety, erratic moods, bloating, and much more. We do this by utilizing advanced testing, a personalized plan tailored to you, women's health and hormones education, and ongoing support so you never feel alone and you get results. If you're ready to commit to your health and feel like yourself again, but even better, check out the link in the show notes to learn more about the Perimenopause Method. The information provided is for educational and informational purposes only. I am not, nor do I act as a doctor or any other medical professional. I am not providing healthcare, medical services, or attempting to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any physical, mental, or emotional disease or condition. The information shared is not intended to be a substitute for the professional medical advice provided by your own medical or mental health provider.